everyone and welcome! With all the Bilgewater stories told, well, all but one smaller piece about misfortune, it is time we finally crack open Pyke, a character that many people have been curious about. And because I really don't want to prolong these intros, let's get right into it. As a youth, Pyke started out like many in Bilgewater, on the slaughter docks. All day every day, monstrous creatures from the deep were hauled in for rendering in the butcheries that lined the waterfront. He found employment in a district known as Blood Harbor, as even the tide itself was not strong enough to wash away the red slick that ran constantly down its wooden slips. He became well acquainted with the trade, both the gruesome work and meager paychecks. Over and over, Pyke watched heavy purses of gold being handed to captains and crews, in exchange for the daunting carcasses that he and his fellows would hack into sellable chunks. He became hungry for more than a few copper spreads in his pocket, and managed to talk his way onto a ship's crew. Few individuals dared to hunt in the traditional Serpentile's manner, launching themselves at their targets to secure tow hooks with their bare hands, and beginning to butcher the creatures while they yet lived. Fearless and highly skilled in this regard, Pyke soon cut a name for himself as the best harpooner a golden kraken could buy. He knew meat was worth pennies compared to certain organs from the larger, more dangerous beasts. Organs that needed to be harvested fresh. Depending on the difficulty of the hunt, each sea monster commanded its own price, and the most desired by Bilgewater traders were the jawfish. From its razor-toothed maw, priceless sacks of sapphirite were coveted across Runeterra for various sorcerous distillations, and a small flask of the glowing blue oil could pay for a ship and its crew 10 times over. But it was while hunting with an untested captain that Pyke learned where a life of blood and guts would land him. Days into their journey, a huge jawfish breached, opening its maw wide to reveal rows of sapphirite sacks. Several harpoon lines secured the beast, and though it was far bigger and older than any he had encountered before, Pyke leapt into its maw without hesitation. As he set about his work, a deep vibration began to stir in the creature's caverner's gullet. Roiling bubbles broke the ocean's surface, and an entire pot of jellos began to push against the tethered ship's hull. The captain lost his nerve and cut Pyke's lifeline. The last thing the doomed harpooner saw before the beast's jaw snapped shut was the look of horror on his crewmates' faces, as they watched him being swallowed alive. But this was not the end for Pyke. In the deepest fathoms of the unknowable ocean, crushed by the titanic pressure, and still firmly trapped within the jaw's mouth, he opened his eyes once more. There were blue lights everywhere, thousands of them seemingly watching him. Tremendous echoes of something ancient and mysterious filled his brain, crushing his mind, showing him visions of all he had lost whilst others grew fat. A new hunger overtook Pyke, one for vengeance and retribution. He would fill the depths with the corpses of those who had wronged him. Back in Bilgewater, no one thought much of the killings at first. For so dangerous a place, the occasional red tide was nothing new. But weeks became months, and a pattern began to emerge. Captains from many ships were found carved up and left out for the dawn. Barroom patrons whispered it was a supernatural killer, wronged at sea, gutting his way through the crew manifest of some damned ship called Terror, once a mark of respect and celebrity. The question, "You a captain?" became a cause for alarm. Soon it was the caulkers too, and the first mates, merchant officers, bankers indeed. Anyone associated with the bloody business of the slaughter docks. A new name went up on the bounty boards. 1,000 krakens for the infamous Blood Harbor Ripper. Driven by memories twisted by the deep, Pyke has succeeded where many have failed, striking fear into the hearts of unscrupulous businessmen, killers, and seafaring scoundrels alike. Even though no one can find any mention of a ship named Terror even docking in Bilgewater, a city that prides itself on hunting monsters now finds a monster hunting them. And Pyke has no intention of stopping. Mazier is sprawled on the rotten planks, waves lapping at stone underneath. Her slowing heartbeat pumps blood into the seawater. She stares, unblinking, at the shanty dwellings above and the stars beyond. Pyke studies her face once more. Mazier's dead eyes stab at his mind. A jolling vessel, foremaster with tethered sails, waves the size of mountains, long hair in high sea wind, dozens of faces on deck, watching, blue eyes, Mazier's blue eyes, wide in disbelief, then teeth. Not Mazier's pearly whites, gunky, sword-sized teeth crisscross the boat, losing light, closing, in the jaw's mouth, lifeline slack, cut. The tongue was too slick, eyes stung with sweat, fingers finding no purchase. Get to open water, swim, swim. The jaw's teeth clamped shut, then pain, then darkness. Ship was gone, so were the eyes, Mazier's eyes. An able-bodied sailor, aye, she was there, she cut my line. Pyke nudges the body with his boot, gazing downward all the while. He nudges her until she reaches the edge of the dock. One more kick and Mazier is floating. The sharks are quick to feast, circling, snapping, the ocean never wastes time. Gulls shriek, their warblet cries caught on the wind, as Pyke finds Mazier, able-bodied sailor, on the list. Red ink strikes her name from the parchment, the last name on the Terror's crew manifest. That's it, no more names, just a lot of red crosses. Where did I get all that ink? A feeling gnaws at Pyke, restless, unsettled, unsatisfied. The churning lurch of bile in his belly. He can't be done. There are too many of them there on the docks. Maybe he got the wrong manifest. Maybe it doesn't even matter. They let me die. So many hands, so many times. Another sound. Not gulls, not waves, not teeth closing. Not the voice in the back of his mind screaming out, "You're not done," over and over and over. Not the music he remembered from the swimming city, all those years ago. It's a new sound, a real sound, a here and now sound. Pyke looks with his living eye. He sees wooden stairs sagging under heavy footfalls. A thick-set man walking down toward the moored, bobbing vessels. He stops when he sees all the blood. His hand disappears into his jacket, pulling a flintlock, keeping the barrel of the gun close to his chest, ready to aim and fire, like a bloody idiot. Pyke steps into the moonlight. The man looks like he's seen a ghost. The skin around his mouth clamps up tighter than a dog banker's coin purse. His eyes go wide and quivery, like jellyfish, like calm water catching a breeze. "Who's that?" he yells.
"Come find out."
The flintlock is aimed at Pyke's head. Then comes the flash and the bang. The shot is true, but it splinters wood because Pyke is no longer where he was. He's in the mist. He falls apart into salt and drops of water. A fine man to a fine mist. He heard they call him a phantom. They are half right. The heavy-set man reloads. Sweat beads his wrinkled brow. In those precious few seconds, Pyke is all around him, in the in-between, somewhere behind the air itself, studying him. Those fearful eyes, crab brown, his beard wild and white, sagging jowls, crooked nose, cracked lips, the way his earlobes are cauliflowered from countless dirty tavern fights. Looks like a captain. The man reeks of sweat, prickly fear, good old boot-quaking terror. Smells like a captain. Pyke needs to be sure. He takes form. He was always a big man. Now, with the baleful glowing eye that the sea gifted him, he feels larger still.
"Tell me your name,"
he rumbles. The man didn't expect anyone to appear behind him. Nobody expects that. Maybe they do in fantasies or nightmares or the stories they tell in bars. But in reality, everyone just grabs their pants and falls flat on their face. And this heavy-set captain is no rule breaker on that count. He trips on his own stupid boots and rolls down the stairs like a sack of tinned victuals. Pyke takes each step slowly. A Noxian galleon is moored at the dock. Trader ship or traitorship. Is there a difference? He guesses not.
"You got till I get to the bottom of these steps to tell me what I want to know."
The man wheezes. His wind knocked clear into someone else's sails. Gasping, a fish on land, chubby hands reaching out.
I remember you. White knuckle grip on the deck rail.
The man tries to stand, but his knee bends the wrong way.
You were watching.
A wharf rat scurries close. Dinner time soon.
You were smiling.
Sputter. Tears coming down. Please, I don't know what you're talking about.
Name, now.
Becke Nid. Pyke pauses to consult the manifest. One step from the bottom. All the red marks. All the crossed out names.
There. Becke Nid. Midshipman.
Uncrossed. Clear as day. Must have had the paper folded wrong. Becke Nid. Yeah, I remember you. You were there. I've never seen you before. It's my first night in build. People can't lie with the hooksman's barber lodged in their cheek. They can't beg or trade the facts they don't have. Fine tool, the barber blade. Made of tempered shark bone, keener than steel. Sticks in real good, snagging on bone and flesh. Struggling only hooks it deeper, as Becke is learning. His eyes are really afraid now. Those eyes stab at Pyke's mind. The memory rises like a tide, and he opens up to let the waters come crashing through, drowning out Becke's gurgling pleas. A jolting vessel, foremaster with tethered sails, waves the size of mountains, ragged beard in high sea wind, dozens of faces on deck, watching, crab brown eyes. Becke Nid's crab brown eyes, wide in disbelief, then teeth.
Right, Lars, that's enough for you from one night. You'll be bothering my other customers.
All right, fine. How's about one for the road, though, huh? Something to get me moving, like.
Not until you settle up. I'll not serve you tomorrow, either. Not until you pay your considerable tab.
That's fair enough. A good night to you, barkeep. I'll see you anon. The tale goes end what never begins. Under the waves and the city won't swim. Slip deals under my blankets. Sounds like someone be working late. Bit late for carving your cats, ain't it? It'll wait till morning. Hello? Oh, by the lady's bait. I've seen nothing, friend. 'Tis no business of mine. I'll just be on my way.
You look familiar.
Oh, it can be. Pyke. You're dead. The beast took you.
Yes. You were there. You cut my line.
It weren't me. Honest, I told them. Told them it weren't right. Stay back. Stay back, I say. What? Would he? Mother of servants! How can you could slash you watery madman? Yeah, that's what you get. Back down to the dick.
And that was the story of Pyke. I really like what Riot has done here this time. Yes, it is true that Pyke has a lot of backstory that is riddled with theories, such as, what are the blue eyes? Is it just the dead? Is it an illusion coming from something beneath the ocean? Or does it come from the Zephyrite from the beast? After all, the Zephyrite is blue and his visions were blue as well. Also, what is the swimming city? What was the music coming from it? Is it really the Void? Would the Void be singing? But Swain must know about it as well. I love how we know about the crucial parts of Pyke's story, but the real mysteries can be cracked by digging deeper. And I might save that for a separate theory video. But for now, that's going to be it for today. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and subscribe for more lore and news. If you'd like to chat, our social media, Twitch, merch and P.O.Box will be in the description. Of course, massive shout out to our patrons for going the extra mile, you guys are absolutely amazing. And with that, thank you all so much for being here and for your support, you know I really appreciate it. And as always, thank you come again.